1919 was an auspicious year in history. The First World War ended, ushering a drastic change in the world order. The Philippine Islands had been a U.S. territory for 2 decades and was promised independence under the Jones Law of 1916. Progressive reformers saw the country and its people as a major target for modernization, and education was its main weapon. 7 forward-looking Filipinas came together in 1919 to create a school where young women could gain the knowledge and skills that would make them modern women. Paz Marquez Benitez was the first president of the Philippine Women's College. Jose Abad Santos was its first chairman of the Board of Trustees. Francisca Tirona Benitez was the second president, and with her husband Dean Conrado, guided the school from a house on A. Flores Street to its iconic Taft Avenue campus. In 1932, the college became a university, making PWU the first university for women in Asia founded by Asians. It provided a space where innovations in education flourished, and young people were encouraged to be the best that they could be. For over 100 years, the Philippine Women's University has been known as a leader in quality education. In 1934, PWU moved into its main campus on Taft Avenue, and since the 1970s has been co-educational. Located in the heart of Metro Manila, it is easily accessible by public transport and surrounded by affordable housing. Today's PWU offers undergraduate and graduate courses in several fields of study. Its business and management programs are responsive to the needs of industry, using evolving technology for global competence. PWU graduates excel in arts and sciences, education, social work, and diplomacy. Its fine arts and music programs have produced outstanding graduates through a holistic education that treasures heritage as well as excellence. PWU has pioneered in fields such as food science, nutrition and dietetics, medical technology, pharmacy, and nursing. PWU continues to play an essential role in producing graduates who possess the skills that make them competitive in the country and anywhere in the world.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Warmest greetings from the Philippine Women's University. We are delighted to welcome everyone to the second day of our first School of Hospitality Management International Research Conference event 2021 with the theme Breaking Barriers, Surviving to Thrive Through Research Innovation, Synergism of Trends, Challenges, and Agility. This event is organized by Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management students. My name is Angelica S.A. Reyes.
My name is Jason Robert Santos. We are your conference hosts.
So for an engaging and no disruptions of the program flow, I am sharing some web conference etiquette. We encourage all attendees for our second day of the conference to please mute your microphones when not speaking in order to reduce background noise. We highly encourage everyone to dress appropriately when cameras are requested to turn on for photo opportunities. We highly suggest all our attendees to please prepare a pen and a paper with you for your notes taking while attentively listening to all our distinguished paper presenters. Jason?
If you have any questions during the paper presenter's oral presentation, you may want to type them using the chat box. The conference host will bring them up and we'll also have time for the question and answer and open forum. Your thoughts and suggestions are highly significant to the organizers. Please make sure to answer the web conference evaluation form, which will be given and posted before we end the web conference. You'll receive your e-certificate of attendance in the form of a link, a QR code, or via email. We are very thankful of your presence for the second day of our conference. So we want you to be attentive, enjoy, and learn more from our distinguished paper presenters who have earned their respective degrees from their master's and doctorate programs for today's paper presentation in this International Virtual Research Conference 2021. Finally, we encourage everyone to send us an email for more questions about this 2 days international conference via mshrmpwu2020@gmail.com. We are very grateful and excited to have all of you here again in our first International Virtual Research Conference. We appreciate for taking time off with your busy schedules to attend our second day program.
Yes, indeed, Jason. This is another amazing Saturday, June 5, 2021, will be a great opportunity for everyone to listen to our excellent paper presenters in the Graduate School of Hospitality Management, School of Tourism, and School of Food Science and Technology. With that, we are truly grateful that they responded to our invitation. Last week, our day one, a total of 26 countries who have registered and 1,900 plus for the virtual individual registrants. As of today, from our last week's Facebook post, we have 6,700 views and 700 likes and hearts already. So it is an awesome audience indeed who wants to be updated and be informed when it comes to research engagements. So again, very thankful to all of you. Now, please allow me to share our web conference objectives. First, nurture and nourish continually the research culture in the PWU Graduate School of Hospitality Management programs in order to promote evidence-based practices in the hospitality and tourism industries. Second, awareness and adherence of research protocols, ethical research practices, and explore modern technological ways for advancement. Third, embrace and utilize research in the academic journey to improve ways of teaching hospitality management education from the traditional classrooms to virtual learning classrooms. Fourth, recognize the selected School of Hospitality Management, School of Tourism, and School of Food Science and Technology alumni who have earned excellent and very satisfactory evaluations in their master's thesis and doctorate dissertation papers during their final defense, and to orally share and present their research outputs in this conference. Fifth, efficiently adopt the new normal best practices and protocols in the food, beverage, accommodations industries today. And finally, to engage and learn new knowledge about research from our sought-after paper presenters.
Thank you, Angelica. Now, I'm inviting everyone for a moment of silence for the doxology.
Good morning, Lord. Thank you for a new day. Thank you that your compassion is renewed every morning. Great is your faithfulness and your steadfast love, O Lord. I don't know what all is going to happen today and how much I'll get done, but you do. So I give this day to you. Fill me with your Holy Spirit, Father. Energize me for your work, because you know how tired these bones are. Awaken me to the wonder of your salvation, and quicken my spirit to the reality of your work in my life. Lord, my mind is filled with creative ideas, but they're all jumbled. Holy Spirit, come and hover over my mind like you hovered over the waters at creation, and speak order out of the chaos. Help me to cease striving and to trust that you will give me all I need today to do the work you've given me to do. You will be faithful to complete the good work you've started. And as I step out into my day, I declare your sovereignty over every area of my life. I entrust myself to you and ask that you use me however you see fit. This day is yours. My body is yours. My mind is yours. Everything I am is yours. May you be pleased with me today. Amen.
All right, may I request everyone to please place your right hand across your left chest for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, allow me to present Janine Christian Ferrer and Redan Roy, Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management student, to provide us an overview about the first day of our first School of Hospitality Management International Research Conference last May 29, 2021.
Thank you very much, Angelica and Jason. To the very active and dynamic University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo M. Benitez.
To the very supportive Dean of the School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Efraimwell Jose Abellana, Dean Prime.
To the excellent dissertation and thesis paper presenters,
Organizers and classmates,
faculty and staff,
and to the wonderful delegates of this event. Good morning.
Good morning, mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
I am Redan, together with Janine. Again, welcome to the first SHM International Virtual Research Conference entitled Breaking Barriers, Serving to Thrive Through Research Innovation, Synergism of Trends, Challenges, and Agility.
We are giving you the recapitulation of day one. Our task here today is to refresh you about what had happened last Saturday.
That's true, Janine. We have two amazing hosts last Saturday, Angelica and Roy, who gave us a very smooth and entertaining flow of the program.
Yes, Redan, truly our host put up a very fine performance in keeping the program in rhythm. We then have a very meaningful and inspirational message coming from the very respectable University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo M. Benitez. It was truly inspiring and we are really grateful of his unending support. He reminds us how resilient Filipinos are by adapting with the present circumstances. and how the industry evolves through the help of research and innovations.
You're right, Janine. It was very inspirational indeed. Moving after, we had a very motivational and welcoming message from our very own Dean of the School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana, also known as Dean Prime. He never fails to encourage every single audience that he had. His continuous support and guidance are a big part of the success of this event. He also led us to the presentation of delegates. Up until today, I still cannot believe that we have thousands of participants around the globe to join us last Saturday. We had students, educators, industry practitioners, and so much more other professions who were interested about the event.
I agree with you, Redan. It is very overwhelming that we have delegates not only in Asia but across the globe. And of course, we are very honored too with the delegates from the different institutions in the country. Let's move on to our first keynote speaker, who then was introduced by Dean and Director of Research and Development Office of this institution, Dr. Leonardo Manalim. Our first keynote speaker, Dr. Noel Scott from Australia, tackled about tourism and hospitality and research trends emerging from the COVID-19 pandemic. He gave such detailed and gripping presentation about how the rest of the world adapts to the changes brought by the pandemic. And I think we have a comeback to look forward to as the tourism and hospitality industries rises again with the innovations that they've discovered during this difficult time. Would you agree, Dan?
Yes, I am very excited for that too. Also, our second keynote speaker was introduced by no other than Dean Prime. He is the virtuous Dr. Alvin Noki. He addressed the topic, research best practices and ethics in the advancement of the digital world. According to him, research would be very helpful, especially during this trying time as we are eager to defeat this virus. Publish or perish. We cannot either choose to be forgotten or to be remembered even in digital world as we publish our future researches. Isn't it, Janine?
Totally agree. I remember him saying that the best practice that we can do as researchers is to contribute to the body of knowledge as we share our findings to others. We have done the very gripping synthesis delivered by Jason, and that ends the morning session.
The afternoon session continues as Lanilin introduces our first panel speaker, the very enthusiastic Mr. Patrick Daya from Malaysia. His topic is all about the future of hospitality management education in the post-pandemic times. According to him, hospitality profession is not a job. Passion and genuine interest are crucial components to move forward. Training activities hones skills in management, technical, and productivity areas. He also mentioned that learning new things in life is permanent. Everything that we learn contributes to oneself.
Yes, you're done. When you learn, you grow. Actually, there were a lot of things or learnings that Patrick have imparted to us. And I believe he again joins us for today's session. Your support is very appreciated. Moving on, introduced to us by Rina, our second panel speaker is Chef Elahi Fergani from Georgia. She discussed about accepting and adapting the challenges in the food industry through research and innovations. Acceptance. Accepting the challenge, learning, and creating innovations contributes to one's success. She makes me remember her saying, always believe in yourself and to always have a dream and a goal. From there, everything shall follow.
A very lovely panelist followed by the very good-looking third panel speaker introduced by Chef Juby. He is Mr. Victor Jaton from Switzerland. He imparted his expertise with the topic EHL and the blueprint in teaching hospitality management as applied in digital marketing during the time of global crisis. He emphasizes lifelong learning. It is an ongoing and voluntarily and self-motivating pursuit of knowledge. And although we are using and facilitating online learning, technical skill can still be honed and developed as it will depend on what approach we are going to use. Technology, on the other hand, is a vital tool when unforeseen events happen, just like this present time of COVID-19.
Be humble, be teachable, and always keep learning. Wow, extremely exceptional panel speakers indeed. After that, we were given a very dynamic plenary discussion led by our two wonderful moderators, Marnelle and Rio. We are also very glad to have active delegates who displayed eagerness to learn by participating in the discussion.
That's correct, Janine. We didn't hear an impeccable synthesis again by no other than Jason Robert Santos. Lastly, Maria Luella Lopez, our conference co-chair, delivered her very appreciative end-day message. So without further ado, let us again take grabs for the day 2
Of the
of
first SHM International Virtual Research Conference entitled Breaking Barriers, Surviving to Thrive Through Research Innovation, Synergism of Trends, Challenges, and Agility. Thank you.
Thank you and
Mabuhay.
mabuhay. Angelica, Jason?
Thank you very much, Janine and Redan, for that wonderful day 1 review. So now it is such an honor to introduce to you the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences and the Director of Research and Development Office, Dr. Leonardo O. Munalim, to give us his welcome message. Let us all welcome him with a warm virtual applause.
Thank you, Jason. How are you, Jason?
Hi, Dr. Munalim. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. Thank you. To the University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo Benitez, Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Filina Yang, my fellow deans, program chairs, MA and PhD students, virtual audience, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. In a snap of time, the world order has changed with the disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the 2020 book titled COVID-19, The Great Reset, authors Klaus Schwab and Terry Mallory delineate how this vicious virus has precipitated a lot of changes or resets. We have macro reset, includes economic, societal, geopolitical, environmental, and technological resets. At the micro reset, it includes your industry and business resets. For individual reset, it includes redefining our humanness or humanity, mental health and well-being, and changing priorities of our lives. I also predict that these resets are likely to continue to radically shape the world even after the pandemic, for better or for worse, that we don't know of. From these resets, I would like to pose these two assertions. One, that the individual reset is the most challenging, most perplexing, and even the most fearful one. The second one, at the same time, in terms of survival, I also assert that the micro reset, which includes industry and business resets, is as fearful as the individual reset. In the sphere of research and academic writing, the profound disruption caused by the COVID-19 has allowed us to pause for a moment and reflect on the inherent value of research writing and publication. We ask the question, what opportunities can be seized at the moment in order to address the needs of the society, especially that we have become spectators of the sufferings of others. Now, this essential question consequently has raised many enduring questions. To mention one, what research areas and topics should PW, MA, and PhD students pursue? Something that can contribute to the growing issues of the industry, or the tourism, hospitality, and events industry. Of course, the answer is yours, but the answer to this question entails and requires a shift in the mindset of the researchers to place greater focus on research that truly matters, not just research for requirements, promotion, and personal prestige. There is one misconception that in research that I would like you to remember, And this misconception is, are you ready? The misconception is there is such a thing as overused or over-researched topic. False. That is not true at all. For example, researchers can study reading interventions until the world ends. There's no limit. Sky is the limit. Why? Because there are always and always gaps in the body of knowledge. And so this is my challenge for all PW, MA, and PhD writers. And also those who are going to present today. Try to check your dissertation or MA if it has truly addressed the gap in literature. Read and read and read. There's no other way but to read. Reading is the heart and backbone of research. Propose a topic because you would want to propagate knowledge and fill in the gap in literature, research that can truly improve human lives. So how can you advance the body of knowledge? Check John Swale's 1990 Creating a Research Space, or we call it CARS model. The space can be achieved by either 1, counterclaiming, 2, indicating a gap, 3, question raising, 4, continuing a tradition. I also encourage my fellow educators and professors in the academe, read your mentees' papers with interest and find out whether the papers can truly address and fill in the identified research spaces and silos. If not, reject them. Do not reject them or do not reject the paper on the basis of the title proposed, which you said, or others would say, gas-gas na, or overused, or over-research. Amid the framework of uncertainties of this new normal, the Philippine Women's University is a safe place for the contamination of ideas. Our students like you, like Jason, are given the right platform to lead and to take charge of their own learning. That's why I would like to congratulate foremost Dr. Prime Abellana, the Dean of Hospitality Management, for encouraging the students to hold this kind of conference, which bears the theme Breaking Barriers, Surviving to Thrive Through Research Innovation, Synergism of Trends, Challenges, and Agility. Today, the second day of the conference, June 5, 2021. I congratulate the conference chair, Ms. Georgina Bihar, the rest of the steering committees for their professionalism and tenacity, and the whole students of Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management who are taking the courses in 2 courses, I believe, the Events Management and International Tourism and Hospitality Management. I also congratulate those who presented in day 1 and those who will present today, the day 2 of the conference. Remain being intellectually generous. It is through this academic undertaking that the students are allowed to develop a disposition to question the world of things around you, around them. We can do that through research and the cultivation of research culture at the Philippine Women's University. You all deserve an acceptance, not a rejection, just like what I received many of the times, although I have a lot of Scopus papers, but I also receive a lot of rejections. I understand that writing can be a lonely endeavor, but with the support of the Philippine Women's University President, Sir Marco, the support of Dr. Filina Young, our Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, the support of Dean Abellana, the support of your program professors and deans, and my personal commitment to the cultivation of research culture at the Philippine Women's University, your journey in your research, writing, and publication will be much more satisfying, engaging, and meaningful. course, we cannot forget this polemical comment made by Senator Cynthia Villar, and I quote, and you know this, baliw na baliw kayo sa research. Aanhin niyo ba yung research? End of quote. Yes, I'm crazy about research. I hope you are all. Welcome to the Philippine Women's University, the first university for women in Asia, founded by Asians. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Munalim, for your insightful, inspiring, and so very warm welcome message. Your invaluable presence today with us for this conference is very significant and with so much greater impact to all of us. We are very grateful for sharing your time with us for the second day of our international conference. And awesome indeed. So, all right, before we move forward to our most anticipated and awaited part of today's program, the paper presentations proper, PWU Graduate School of Hospitality Management offers courses such as Doctor in Hospitality Management, DHM, Master of Science in Culinary Arts, MSCA, Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, MSHRM. PWU Graduate School also offers School of Tourism, Master of Science in Tourism Management, MSTM, and School of Food Science and Technology, Master in Food Safety Management Program, MFSM, and Master of Science in Food Science, MSFS.
Yes, Angelica. PWU helps us learn the personal skills that we need that will help us build our career and offers opportunities that enables us to respond in all stages and aspects of life.
I do agree, Jason. PWU also exercise camaraderie among students, faculty, and employees that will enable us to develop trust and build good rapport with other people. By the way, Jason, may I ask if you love jaw-dropping moments?
Yes, of course, Angelica. I love the feeling of getting unexpected stuff.
You know what, Jason? Today, we will be giving away prizes. Amazing prizes. Isn't that great to start off this event?
I agree, Angelica. Indeed, it's a great starter and energizer for everybody. So everyone, stay tuned.
Yeah, so before we begin the paper presentations, Jason, for the sake of everyone, could you please elaborate the definitions and or the meaning and the importance of dissertation and thesis?
Dissertation and thesis, according to the best master's degrees, is a research project completed as part of a postgraduate degree on a particular subject. Now, let's differentiate the two. The thesis is a project that marks the end of a master's program, while the dissertation occurs during the doctoral study. Here at PWU, you have to finish 60 units for the doctoral degree and 39 units for the master's degree. Angelica?
Wow, thank you so much for that, Jason. So now, let us all prepare ourselves to listen and learn from our excellent and very satisfying presenters. Jason?
Thank you, Angelica. For our first dissertation paper presenter, she'll be introduced by Angeline Aquino, Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management student.
Thank you, Jason. Once again, a pleasant morning, everyone. And now, without further ado, to formally introduce our first dissertation presenter, she is currently a faculty and special lecturer in Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management program at Philippine Technical University. At the same time, she is the Dean of Hotel and Restaurant Management program in the College of Tourism and Hospitality Management at Olivares College, Parañaque City. She is also an operation consultant in the food and beverage sector at Southern Grind Bistro. Her impressive curriculum vitae includes mastery in various trainings, seminars, and workshops from 2013 to present in both local and international. She is a TESDA National Certificate Level 2 and 3 passer in food and beverage, front office, housekeeping, driving, bartending, bread and pastry production, cookery, and multiple training methodologies. She is also a former accreditor, assessor, and trainer in TESDA. And not only that, She is also an NTTC TESDA or National TVET Trainer Certificate holder in various programs of the hospitality industry. Today, we are very lucky to have her with us as she shares her dissertation paper entitled Service, Strategy, and Innovation in Food Service Industry, a Basis for Competitive Advantage Model. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Maria Dina Jimenez. Let's give her a round of virtual applause.
Good morning. Thank you so much. May I share first my PowerPoint presentation? Yes, Doc, sure. Sorry. Everyone, to our beloved President, Mr. Marco Benitez, and then to our SVP Academic Affairs, Dr. Filomena C. Yang, Director of Graduate Studies, Dr. Emerita Sornosa, to our beloved and our very own Dean, Dr. Efraim Manuel L. Abellana, my co-Philomenians, participants, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant and blessed morning to all. Next slide, please. Before pandemic, as part of the food industry, I cannot imagine how we can cater a bulk order in a daily operation. Planning in advance on our strategies we're going to apply for the busiest and fast-growing industry. Meeting customers' expectation in changing the competitive business environment needs immediate responses and awareness. But now we are in pandemic time. This pandemic situation for the new normal is to disrupt food service industry establishment, recalibrating and reorganizing the strategy and innovating new ideas to meet increased demand and the needs of the market. The COVID-19 is very impacted to our lives beyond we could not imagine. The disruption of the essential of our lives such as food, money, waters, housings, and others. Next slide, please. For the background of the study, the service innovation is technically the development, production, and dissemination of new consumer and capital goods and service. It is also emphasized the vital role of a firm readiness for creating and establishing new ideas of their product and services. The service innovation, the service strategy is the involvement of the customers have been given recognition as the pivotal factors of the successful service development. Service strategies and service innovation has to do something with the success of food service business. Nowadays, has come more competitive and technology driven. As a service-oriented business, food service must understand the variability of market, customers' real perception, innovation behavior, and customer sounds active from customers' concern. This knowledge is guarantee customers' right and satisfaction. To survive the competitive advantage, an innovation strategy must fulfill the success index. The needs of the different form of innovation as a driver of change is needed to maintain in the competitive arena. Being competitive and profitable would give edge to the food service, especially during implementation of a variety innovation and support. Next slide, please. For the conceptual framework, to be able to determine the customer satisfaction of this part of the service productivity, innovation, competitive advantage, and competitive strategy must consider as independent variables and competitive strategy as the dependent variable. This is the reason why service strategies takes part as a vital role in pursuing this study. The service innovation is part of the independent variable that determined based on the perception of the respondent. For the service innovation, for my conceptual framework, it is aimed to establish the product-related dimension, the market-related dimension, process-related dimension, and organization-related dimension. Likewise, the study is adopted services strategy for the food service industry establishment, such as customer service strategy, after-sales service strategy, maintenance service strategy, and research development-oriented service strategy. Lastly, operational service strategy. The competitive is very important to the managers in the food service strategy and food service innovation, not only in the industrial field, but in the hotel and food service industry. Eventually, the proposed model of the competitive strategy can be adopted by the food service industry for sustainability, and this was formulated based on the result of the study. Next slide, please. For the methodology, this used a mixed methods. It is a descriptive and the qualitative method. For the quantitative analysis, this is include the descriptive and inferential statistical statement of the data gathered. For the percentage, we're used to determine a proportional part of frequency to obtain the respondent who will answer the survey questionnaires. Second one is the weighted mean. The weighted mean were determined to overall perception of respondents of the survey questionnaire factor. The Likert scale were used to determine the degree of importance of the attributes. And then the fourth one is the ETA correlation. This was used to determine the significant relation, association, where exists in the responses of the respondent between the nominal and the scale data. Lastly, the analysis of variance, it is used to compare the score of the service innovation, the service strategy with the profile of the respondent. The next method is about the qualitative analysis. The qualitative analysis, there are three, which is the data reduction used for summary, coding, categorizing, and it will be able to manipulate integrated, transform the highlight and transcripted data in the focus group discussion. And then the second one is the data organization where used, organize the information by grouping into themes, points, and then categorizing into specific themes. The third one is about interpretation. It is a conclusion and decided about the research question. The researcher will look the pattern for this as the regularity as well as the trends and explanation. So the questionnaire was computed on a different section like demographic profile of the respondent, service strategy, service innovation in the interview questionnaire. The respondent were asked and assessed to the service innovation, strategy of the food service industry. The researcher distributed the survey questionnaire in the open-ended and close-ended question. Next slide, please. For the construction of survey questionnaires, next, please. For the validation, it is about for the graduate school professors at Philippine Women's University and also with the food service employees and the customers. Next, please. For the reliability of the study, the survey questionnaire had a reliability coefficient of 0.97, which is indicated that it had a high reliability. Next, please. For the sampling techniques, the respondent have 1,500 respondents selected cities in Metro Manila. The researcher used the Sloban formula. So a Sloban formula used to determine the sample size of the respondent. Sample size were computed in 95% confident interval or 5% margin error. Stratified sampling utilized from the 1,500 based on that 316 as the result of Slovan computation. However, for the retrieval of the data, 329 respondents were retrieved, which will greater accuracy as a result of the validation. For the table number 1, represent the sample strata, the type of service operation, almost equal proportion, close to 25% each stratum. Casual dining and institutional establishment were the same proportion in 25%. And then while the fine dining and fast food has 24.92% and also 24.62 respectively. Next. Table 1A, it is about the sample frame location of the respondent. Shows selected cities includes in the study, majority from Parañaque City, which is 33%, 15% from Manila City, 14% from Las Piñas City, 10% from Pasay City. Meanwhile, 9% of the respondent from Quezon City, Muntinlupa, and Makati City. Next, please. On my table number 2, which is the sample frame of the position of the respondent. Sample frame shows that 219 rank file employees, 52 supervisory level, and 58 top management position. Next, please. For the demographic profile of my study, it is about the age of the respondent, gender, and the educational attainment. For, next slide, please. For the finding on conclusion of the study. This OP number 1 is about what is the demographic profile of the customers finding and conclusion. It is about the majority where, as you can see the table a while ago, where the younger sector in 18 to 27 years old, most of the respondents were male and a college degree. Also male, the respondent correspond the most male member of the family who are normally would live in the house for the essential. Next, please. For the recommendation of SOP number 1, thus it is recommended to provide an online services for those who are not allowed to live in their residence. Next, please. For SOP number 2, respondents are classified according to profile. How do they assess the service innovation implemented by the food service establishment? For the finding and conclusion of the study, the assessment of the service innovation when classified according to profile were very large extent for the age, gender, and educational attainment. This means that the establishment implemented with very large extent the protocol guidelines governed by the law, and establishment were observed the fulfilling their social responsibility and behavior management synergy. For the recommendation, since the list of the assessment was the market-related dimension, it is recommended to offer the comparative marketing program applicable during the pandemic. It is also an example of the marketing and include with the product discounts previous in the social media activities. Go back please on the third SOP. Back. Okay, for the third SOP, when respondents are classified according to file, how do they assess the service strategy implemented by food service establishment? For the finding and conclusion of the study, the assessment of service strategy when classified according to profile were very large extent for the age, gender, educational attainment. This indicates that the food establishment were able to ensure product service-oriented training for employees, that the customers felt secure when availability of the help desk for feedback and the recommendation. For the recommendation, the research and development-oriented service strategy were disclosed. At least implementation, the food service industry must allotted with the financial assistance, intensify research development. Next, please. SOP number 4. For the SOP number 4, is there significant difference in the assessment of respondent classified according to profile of the aforementioned service innovation implemented by the food service establishment? For the finding and conclusion, there is a significant difference in all 4 aspects of the service innovation when classified based on age. However, the gender of the market and process dimension shows significant differences, while the product or organizations convey no significant difference. For the recommendation, since age differ all aspects of service strategies, the food service business must create a competitive advantage model that can cater all types of age group. Next, please. SOP number 5. Is there significant difference in the assessment of the respondent classified according to profile of the foregoing service strategy implemented by food service establishment? For the finding and conclusion, there is a sufficient evidence to prove that the age differ one another on all aspects of service strategies, while gender and educational attainment shows no significant difference in the assessment of service strategy. For the recommendations, since social media focus on the online service were manifested, the major indicator for the service innovation of food service intensify the cashless and online transaction. Next, please. SOP number 6. Is there a significant relation between the profile of the respondent and their assessment above cited innovations implemented by food service establishment? Finding and conclusion, age has an effect that can be attributed in assessing the product, the market, process, and organization dimension, and reveals that these are statistically significant. While there is no significant relation for gender and educational attainment, have no effect and cannot be attributed in assessing the service innovation. Next, please. For the recommendation, to address the hesitancy of the customers to go to casual dining and fear of spread the virus, marketing propaganda must be focused on the health protocol procedure. Next, please. On SOP number 7, is there significant relation between the profile of the respondent and their assessment due for the above-mentioned strategies implemented by the food service establishment? For the finding of the study and conclusion, age has an effect that can attributed in assessing customer service, after-sales service, maintenance service, research and development, and operational service strategy, in which reveals that these are statistically significant. For the recommendation, competitive model that will be developed and should be adapted to the current situation, catering to the proper designation of workforce to answer limited force faced during the pandemic. On SOP number 8, what is the service innovation strategy challenges faced by the food service industry based on the focus group discussion? For the findings and conclusion, the food safety, marketing through social media service innovation also focused on online transaction, word of mouth, product timeless, and appropriateness were manifested. Major indicator in the food service innovation. Next one is the training and trends of the food industry during pandemic is offered. Technically, maintenance event that company allotted budget time of outsourced control system, online customers feedback was revealed major in food in service strategy. Lastly, the fear of virus, limited customers, minimal force, low revenues identified the challenge faced by the food service industry. For the recommendation, it must be continued to adhere the health protocol limited customers, and thus food application or online application may be considered in the delivery and takeout. Next, please. For the further study or other recommendation of the study, we have here other service innovation also. Just what mentioned for our research director of research and development that we have also the other further research in every study that we have dimension. And this is also the new knowledge in the field of service strategy for the food service industry. Next, please. So a proposed model of competitive advantage amidst in pandemic, which is shows in figure number 3. So on phase 1, there was an identification challenge faced by the food service industry during the pandemic for the FGD or the focus group discussion. So the study revealed that the food service industry has limited customers, which led to minimal workforce and a low revenue. Customers are also had a hesitancy to go to the dine-in and the establishment due to the fear contagious virus. For the stage 2, which is the intervention of service innovation and intervention of strategy. So for the innovation, it is about the result were identified the food safety through social media, service innovation, and so on and so forth. And on the other hand, training trend and food service industry technical maintenance evident and must be allotted for the workforce, outsourcing and training, and the quality control systems and others. So for the service strategy on the phase 3 that we have, it is about the implementation intervention, which should be followed by the evaluation. So the researcher may recommend to food service industry to adopt model created, this research implemented, test, and workability. Then after the intervention of phase 2, they're going to go to the phase 3, which is the implementation and the evaluation of the gathered from the strategy of innovation and service strategy. So by identifying for the certain points of intervention can be formulated and implemented later for the better improvement and application as well in the food service industry and the food service managers. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jimenez, for that impressive presentation. I agree that the food service industry nowadays already become very innovative and technology-driven due to the challenging situation we are facing right now. We all know that many people fear the virus, so having a great service strategy combined with the use of modern technology and proper training will lead every business to succeed. So once again, thank you very much, Dr. Jimenez.
Thank you so
I would
much.
also like to thank you. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Patrick Daya from Malaysia, one of our speakers last May 29, 2021. So welcome back and good morning, Sir Patrick. So now let us move forward to our second dissertation paper presenter. It will be initiated by Edelme Madriñan, Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management student.
Thank you, Angelica. A pleasant morning, everyone. And now, to formally introduce our second dissertation paper presenter, she is currently an Associate Professor 3 under the College of Business and Accountancy at Bataan Peninsula State University in Bataan City, Philippines. Previously, she worked as an Instructor 1, HRM Program Coordinator, HRM Program Head, and HRM Cluster Chair at the same institution. She graduated at the University of the Philippines Diliman campus with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Administration. She earned her master and doctorate degrees in Hotel and Restaurant Management at the Philippine Women's University in 2012 and 2021, respectively. She is actively involved in community services as a trainer for almost 10 years in numerous skills and livelihood trainings. She is presently serving as a board of director in Abellana City Tourism Council in Bataan from 2013 up to present. She is also a published author for instructional materials relating to hospitality management. She has multiple TESDA certifications such as Trainer's Methodology Level 1, Housekeeping NC2 and NC3, Food and Beverage Services NC2, Bread and Pastry Production NC2, Front Office Services NC2, Events Management NC3, Food Processing NC2, and Bartending NC2. From 2013 to present, she has conducted an impressive 7 researches with topics ranging from advocacy program for climate change to the establishment of Travel and Tourism Center in Bataan, to the assessment of BPSU Skills Development Program graduates at the Bataan District Jail. Today, she will share with us her dissertation paper entitled The Development of the Province of Bataan as a Potential Food Hub Amidst the Pandemic, Basis for Food Chain Model. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our great pleasure to introduce to you to Dr. Joanne de los Reyes Lubrino. Let's give her a round of virtual applause.
Thank you so much, Ms. Edelme, for that introduction. So, warm greetings from the province of Bataan. A blessed morning to Dean Prime Abellana, my advisor, and I've also seen here Dr. Blanco and Dr. Sardenia. So, good morning po, as well to Dr. Munalim, the Director of Research. So, thank you to the dedication of the MSHRM organizers for this first ever SHM International Virtual Research Conference. So congrats in advance. Okay, so to start with my presentation this morning, let me share to you my study entitled The Development of the Province of Bataan as Potential Food Hub Amidst the Pandemic, Basis for Food Chain Model. So I'll be showing to you the overall framework plan of the province. It is a document from the Provincial Planning and Development Office. I got it last September 28, 2020. So you can see there the Bataan coastal use and sea zone. So the coastal areas of Bataan are being utilized for fisheries and shellfish culture, shipping and navigation, industries, tourism and recreation, and built-up areas. So the current global outbreak of COVID-19 has disturbed farming, fishing, and food systems across the globe. In the Philippines, a total of 1.16 million confirmed cases were recorded, while for the province of Bataan, there were 4,523 confirmed COVID-19 cases, most of which came from the overseas Filipino workers. This is sourced from One Bataan 2020. In this regard, the Philippine economy is on downward trajectory. So for the outline of my presentation, I'll be sharing with you the statement of the problem. So first, what is the profile of the province of Bataan based on the elements of general operations of Food Hub according to location, demography, resources, infrastructure, existing land use, and economic programs or projects. Second, what is the profile of the respondents in terms of sex, age, educational attainment, sector they belong, products produced, and the number of years in farming or agri-fishery. Third, what is the perception of the respondents on the products and operational activities of agri-fishery farms in the province of Bataan? Fourth, what is the perception of the stakeholders on the concept of Food Hub according to importance of different elements of establishing Food Hub and adjustment to meet the demand of a Food Hub? Fifth, what are the respondents or stakeholders' preferences in establishing a Food Hub according to operating format? Sixth, what are the supports provided by the local government of Bataan? Seventh, is there any significant difference between the group of stakeholders and the perceptions on the concept of the Food Hub? And lastly, based on the findings of the study, what food chain model can be created in the province of Bataan? So here are the sample of the letters which were used for the data gathering procedure. So this one was sent to the provincial governor for the documents needed last September 28. And then another letter was also forwarded to the provincial governor for the conduct of the survey and interview last December 9. And then another letter was sent to the office of the city mayor for the conduct of the survey and interview last December 15. So some photos were captured during the survey conducted for the producers. So there are farmers and fisher folks for the producers as the respondents of the study. So here are some producers which are invited by the Provincial Agriculture Office or PAO to showcase their products at the bunker building. So this was last December 11. And then survey was conducted in coordination with PAO. And then another photo is another batch of producers were invited by the Provincial Agriculture Office. This was dated last December 14. And then another event was led by PAO intended for farmers and fisher folks. This was conducted last December 17. And then another photo, this activity was held last December 21 and survey was conducted to the target respondents. And then this event was conducted to another batch of producers in different municipalities. So there are actually 11 municipalities and 1 city in the province of Bataan. So this is the sample link for my online survey questionnaire intended for the consumers. So the consumer staff were also resident of Bataan. So they have the buying power for the products of our producers. So here's the photo for the interview conducted with the director of the Provincial Planning and Development Office. And then this one with the director of Bataan Cooperatives. And then a photo with the department head of City Planning and Development Office. So I was able to source the map of Barangay Dangkol, City of Abellana, Province of Bataan. This is the identified location for the development of Food Hub. For the next slide, please. So there, it's actually a government-owned property. For the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data, the table here, you can see the respondents profile by sex. So majority are male. I was able to capture 384 respondents for the producers, the farmers and fisher folks, while there are 408 who answered the online survey questionnaire. So they are the consumers. So mostly were female for the producers. So producers profile by age, as you can see here, there are 244 farmers and fisher folks in the age of 45 to 54 years old. And then for the consumers, majority of them are in the millennials. So I guess most of the millennials are into answering online survey questionnaire. They have the most participation. While for the educational attainment for the producers, our farmers and fisher folks obtained vocational or diploma. And then a greater number for the consumers are college graduate. While for the profile, a greater number are fisher folks as compared to farmers. And then for the profile by sectors, for the consumers, a greater number are into government sector, followed by the business or investor. For the products profile by products produced, since there are a greater number from the fisher folks, there's a greater number of fish and other seafood as well as seashell or mussel in the study. While for the number of years or farming or fishing industry, there's over 15 years of experience coming from the farmers and fisher folks here in the province. For the perceptions of the respondents on the products and operational activities, it's a combined responses from the producers and consumers. They actually rated it extremely important with top quality as the first or the highest rating for the indicator. So according to Fisher et al. In 2012, a food hub is a direct link for the food producers going to their consumers. The food hub collects the fresh produce to entail top quality products and arranges distribution, bridging numerous producers to a wide range of consumers than a customary good response sequences. And then for the next table, you can see here the concept of food hub according to importance of different elements in establishing a food hub. So all are actually rated, while two were rated very important, the grading capabilities and on-farm pickup. So food hub dynamically pursue to offer innovative market channels for small and middle-sized local and regional producers, search for associates for technical support to the producers in areas of scheduling in the production, practices in ecological assembly and food safety. While for the indicators for the establishing a food hub in the importance of different elements, according to Puayan et al., the competent and operational process of food production to consumption could enable the convenience, accessibility, and affordability of sufficient food to consumers. For the perception of producers to meet food hub demand, they actually have rated a strong agreement to indicator 1, which is increase the current amount of production. Complying to the necessity for products lead to increasing the supply of produce. Food hubs are the response to the developing demands of consumer in terms of high quality of local foods. And then for the consumers, concept of food hub according to adjustment to meet the food hub demand, a strong agreement went to the buying more local product if I know it was available. So we now encourage the buying of local, loving local in order for us to support our farmers and fisher folks. So based on Mason et al. In 2013, fresh fruits and vegetables are frequently the leading essential food products of the food hubs. Many food hubs provide a wide range of product classifications like dairy, meats, fish, and seafood, and more shelf-steady products like local grain varieties and flours to prolong the operating season. For the operating format, as you can see here, this is combined responses coming from the producers and consumers, a total of 792. So about 611 responses agreed or favored the cooperative, which is actually owned by producers, processors, buyers, or distributors. And then for the support provided by the local government of Bataan, So 100% went to training. As for training, it is of great significance for the continuity of labor in management and sales on Food Hub operations. And then significant difference using Mann-Whitney test in the perception of the respondents on the concept of Food Hub. So the null hypothesis is rejected. The p-value is lesser than the alpha of 0.05, thus rejecting the null hypothesis. Data reveals that perception of producers as that the importance of given variables is higher than that of the consumers. For the proposed food chain model, which is the output of the study, for the rationale, this model will help on emerging opportunities in the food economy, achieve additional food earning, expand food security, decrease in food remains, and on condition that system will be in place for the producers and keeping valuable agri-fishery production. For general objective, to illustrate system intended for the food chain operation in the province of Bataan. For the SWOT analysis, positions, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the potentiality of Food Hub amidst the pandemic, which serve as basis for the food chain model. So the proposed output for the study is a food chain model that can be adapted by the province of Bataan and be modified as the need arises. It was based on the result of the survey and interview conducted. An in-depth analysis of literature was undergone. The model will start with the government funding to have initial startup for the infrastructure of the Food Hub. It will then have an impact on the production process of the farmers and fisher folks. After which, the Food Hub activities and services will be put into place to have a smooth flow of operation in the Food Hub. The community services were enjoined to tap the expertise coming from the educational institution. The consumption of the consumers will take place as well as the purchase of the retailers. The operating format is included, which is cooperative, as the majority of the respondents prefer the said business model. So on the next slide, you can see there the proposed food chain model, starting with the government and then down to production. And then you can see there the infrastructure needed in able to come up with the Food Hub, the programs and projects coming from the selected local government units, and then the Food Hub activities. And then you can see there, as I mentioned a while ago, tapping the expertise from the educational institution. That's why community services was included. And then finally, the operating format. For the summary of findings, so the profile of the province of Bataan according to location, as you can see from the map, Bataan serves as the heartland of Central Luzon in terms of industrial activities, mainly because of the existence of the anchor industries in the province. So prime business hub that offers major transshipment area in the region. The major roads and institutions should be of prime importance. There must be an easy transport of produce in and out of the facility. So moreover, the comfortability of the consumers in accessing the operation. So there's an ongoing project right now. There's a link from Mariveles going to Cavite. So the usual 3 to 4 hours travel will be less than an hour if that will be accomplished. So for demography, the province of Bataan has 760,650 people. So the demography of the province strengthens the broader definition of Food Hub on networks and intersections of grassroots, community-based organizations and residents that coordinate to put up economic food systems that unite farmers and fisher folks with the consumers as openly as conceivable. For the resources, about 34.45% of the population is dependent on fisheries and aquaculture as their source of livelihood. Fresh produce is the common product offered in Food Hub and normally contributes to incur huge value for sales. With this, the barangay Dangkol in the city of Abellana, province of Bataan, has a better chance to institute a Food Hub. As you can see here, on the image is the conceptual master plan for the proposed hectare of the university town. So barangay Dangkol is a part of that master plan. So for the infrastructure, the fish port in Orani, Bataan, upon its completion, will surely be one of the most visited agri-tourism sites, once travel will be permitted. In line with this, the potential Food Hub in Barangay Dangkol, City of Balanga, Province of Bataan, will share its space in 15 hectares with the sports complex, school, and evacuation center. So it's a government property. Funding will be sourced from the city and provincial agriculture office. So the site is viable for the operations of a food hub. So the picture below is the formal opening last February 19 of the Subic-Freeport Expressway connecting Bataan, Zambales, and Pampanga, and other places in Central Luzon via SETEX. So this is a sign of new vitality and economic development in the region. For existing land use, the province of Bataan has increasing shift from agriculture economy to residential or commercial center. Malls proliferate in the city of Abellana. The clear comprehensive land use of the province of Bataan and city of Abellana will be an excellent choice based on zoning and allocation of budget. So for the next slide, here are the economic programs or projects of the local government vindicated the community's economic development to advance the economies and at the same time adjust to changing circumstances in the economy. So this is actually the Philippine Against Hunger, which is launched by Secretary Carlo Nograles last February 22. The program aims to solve issues related to production, distribution, and food shortages, especially in this time of crisis. And another one is the One Bataan Farmers Community Market at the local government units of Mariveles, Limay, Balanga, Dinalupihan. And then for the One Bataan Agriculture Innovation and Technology Center and the Department of Agriculture provided 10 1-hectare farms established in the different barangays of Dinalupihan. These model farms demonstrate the proof of concept using modern technologies such as drip fertigation and precision, agriculture and growing high-value vegetables during the dry season after rice in the wet season. And then another program or project intended for the 23 farmers in Balanga City. They received free shallow tube well, diesel pump, and engine last February 26. And then as a recap for the demographic profile of the respondents, so for the producers, there were a total of 384 farmers and fisher folks. 290 were males, and then in terms of age, majority are 45 to 54 years old, and then for highest educational attainment, data show that most of respondents have acquired vocational or diplomas. And then majority, as mentioned, are fisher folks. So the products produced were fish and seafood, and then in terms of number of years, data revealed that 350 of the total respondents have over 15 years. For consumers, there were a total of 408 consumers. Majority are female, and then they are in the ages of 25 to 34 years old. And then most of them are college graduates, and then a greater number belongs to the government sector. And for the perception of the respondents, data revealed that respondents have rated indicators extremely important. And then for the perception of producers, data have shown that producers have rated all indicators extremely important except for 2 indicators, which are grading capabilities and on-farm pickup. For the consumers, elements in establishing a food hub, they have rated the indicators extremely important, while for the perceptions on meeting the demand, the producers have strong agreement on indicator 1, increasing the amount of production. And then for the perception of consumers on meeting the food hub demand, they have strong agreement on indicator 2, which is buying more local product. So majority preferred cooperative, and then 100% were rated in the training as support provided by the local government. For the significant difference, the result of the analysis using Mann-Whitney test, a non-parametric test, indicate that significant difference is evident in the stakeholders' perceptions on the concept of food hub when grouped accordingly. Since p-value is lesser than alpha 0.05, rejecting the null hypothesis, data revealed that perception of producers as to the importance of given variables is higher than that of the consumers. For the conclusions, number 1, making the most of locally produced resources of the province of Bataan, it is of prime importance to develop a food chain system that will alleviate the growth of the community and in the process uplift the lives of farmers and fisher folks. Second, through the supports provided by the local government amidst the pandemic, the producers and consumers rated the products, operational activities, and elements of food hub most extremely important, thereby increasing the viability of establishment of the food hub in the province of Bataan through a cooperative. Third, the null hypothesis is rejected since the data revealed that the perception of producers as to the importance of given variables is higher than that of the consumers. Fourth, the realization of food hub in Barangay Dangkol at the city of Balanga, province of Bataan can create a huge impact on the stakeholders. For the recommendations, the local government of Bataan can take into consideration the budget intended for the development plan for food chain value to ensure the consumers of sustainable food which are locally grown. And then a working committee is highly recommended to conduct a comprehensive study about the food distribution system, thereby leading to the construction of food hub in Barangay Dangkol, city of Balanga, province of Bataan. Third, to determine the best approach to institute community aggregators to have a better comprehension of current supply and demand, infrastructure, and ability to meet growth and governance in the province. Fourth, analyze the current situation of the farmers and fisher folks amidst pandemic to generate viable programs that will assist them in their livelihood. Fifth, giving opportunity and priority importance to the fresh produce of the province will boost the tourist visits once transportation infrastructure is completed and once pandemic is over. Six, the food chain model can be adapted and modified by the province to best suit the need of the producers, operations of the food hub, and the consumers. And lastly, for further research, feasibility study may be conducted focusing on food hub operations to get budget approval from the local government of Bataan. So thank you for listening, and here are some of the references that I used for my dissertation.
Jason.
Thank you, Dr. Labrino, for that notable presentation. So having a sustainable food chain system will have a positive impact on the society, economy, and in the community. It's also a positive output that the findings show that Bataan has a great potential when it comes to food hub development due to factors such as its location, resources, infrastructures, land use, and programs and projects. Once again, thank you, Dr. Lobrino. So, for our third dissertation paper presenter, she'll be introduced by Lynn Her.
Thank you, Jason. Once again, a pleasant morning, everyone. And now, to formally introduce our third dissertation presenter, she is currently a Hotel and Tourism Management faculty at Our Lady of Fatima University in Quezon City. She is also a graduate school professor and a course developer of the mentioned university in both Antipolo and Quezon City campuses. She graduated with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management at St. Paul College, Quezon City, a Master of Science in Hospitality Management in Our Lady of Fatima University, Quezon City, and holds a doctorate degree in Hospitality Management in our beloved Philippine Women's University, Manila. She is known for her various research works in the field of hospitality and tourism management, making her one of the most frequently invited resource persons here and abroad. Recently, she was invited to talk about best practices implemented by casual dining restaurants in the Philippines in meeting the health preferences of consumers at the IRESCON held in Taiwan. Today, it will be a great privilege for all of us to listen and to learn from her dissertation paper entitled Tourism Destination Management of Palawan vis-a-vis the NTDP 2016 to 2022 Basis for Enhancement. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our great pleasure to introduce you, Dr. Marie Iona Angeli Daquiel. Let us give her a round of virtual applause.
Good morning. My heartfelt gratitude for that introduction, Ms. Herrera. The esteemed, all right, okay. So to the esteemed President, Director of Research, Deans, Program Heads, Professors, and event organizers of Philippine Women's University, virtual delegates, and audience, again, a pleasant morning. I am honored to be part of this first international virtual research conference and be able to present my dissertation entitled Tourism Destination Management of Palawan vis-a-vis the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022 Basis for Enhancement. Next slide, please. Visit Britain 2019 once gave a factual statement that great destinations, previous slide, please. I'll repeat. Okay, so again, Visit Britain 2019 once gave a factual statement that great destinations are nice places to explore, sought after place to work and live. Next slide, please. A great destination should be orchestrated by the national government and managed by its local government through a well-designed plan and long-term framework with a strong emphasis on the interest of the tourists, businesses, and the local residents. Next slide, please. The study utilized convergent parallel mixed method research design to examine the alignment of tourism destination management of Palawan to the National Tourism Development Plan, or NTDP 2016-2022, using both qualitative and quantitative outcomes for the enhancement program. The researcher purposively selected 20 consented key informants from Puerto Princesa City, El Nido, and Culion who have worked in the tourism sector for at least a year. For quantitative, a descriptive checklist was administered through Google Form platform, which served as a main tool in gathering objective data such as the participant's profile, the roles of the stakeholders in the tourism destination management of Palawan, the challenges encountered by the stakeholders in the implementation of the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, the tools used in monitoring and evaluating the implementation of National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, the strategies in identifying and mitigating the risk in the implementation of National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, the technical assistance package to ensure the alignment of the implementation of National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, and the respondents' assessment in the alignment of tourism destination management to the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022 strategic directions and programs. Then, a follow-up semi-structured online interview was also scheduled for each of the participants using peer-reviewed aide-memoir, a qualitative tool to capture the richness and thickness of the individual experiences and opinions of the study key informants. The quantitative data from the online database was collected and prepared prior to statistical analysis. Then, the qualitative interviews were recorded, transcribed, and converted into field text prior to thematization. Integration of data through merging were brought together for analysis and interpretation using network analysis. Quantitative data was processed using SPSS version 25 using descriptive statistics such as frequency and percentage. And for the test of significant difference, ANOVA was employed. Quantitatively, transcribed interviews were loaded in the MaxQDA 2020 software for coding and memoing of themes. Next slide, please. In this slide, I would like to draw your attention on the quantitative list outcomes. In terms of participants' profile for affiliation, minority of the respondents were from community with 10% for the reason that they have limited involvement in the tourism destination management. And according to Morrison 2019, these groups of stakeholders have an indirect influence in tourism destination management. For tourism destination management, list of the respondents are from El Nido with 20%. The main reason is due to the availability of the key stakeholders during the time of data gathering were limited since they were busy with the reopening of their tourism destination. For the number of years in the current position, a small part of the respondents with 25% hold 46 years to their current position since the tourism industry has a diverse employment opportunities and seasonal by nature. As a result, having the sufficient number of experience and knowledge acquired from working, they have decided to have their own business in tourism. For the roles of the stakeholders in the tourism destination management process, in terms of research and analysis, results show the list outcome is on monitoring roles with 4.76%, denotes that tourism stakeholders gave more emphasis on planning and marketing roles to ensure the positive impact of the destination and to optimize its capacity. And in terms of consultative planning, list outcomes belong to skills and capability assessment and audit with 10%. This denotes that this tourism destination management process was used for the discussion of issues and concerns of the destination, then training were provided in order to resolve them and meet their objectives. Next, please. In terms of destination development, a few of the respondents are involved in the review of the product and experience development plan with 15.15% for the reason that this role required skilled and dedicated personnel to conduct extensive research on existing supply, current and future demands of the product in particular region and to have a creative product and experience that will add value to the existing ones. In terms of marketing and promotion, the list of the stakeholders respondents are to develop and communicate the destination's vision and values via clear brand and ensure visitors' awareness and engagement with the percentage of 29.03%, which means these roles were done by most of the top management in which, due to their all-encompassing work experience and broader knowledge, envisioning will be needed. Next slide, please. As for the challenges encountered of the stakeholders in the implementation of National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, out of 28 challenges, the top 3 are the following. Expect the public sector to ensure sustained development with 90%. This denotes that most tourism stakeholders know that the public sectors were more capable of requesting sufficient budget, which if not addressed or provided at once will cause a delay in the projects and programs for the destination development. For the second challenge, which is the transition from top-down models to partnership with 65%, this means that the respondents create disagreements through conflicting goals among key players. And the third one is lack of formal mechanism for cooperation with also 65%. So this last challenge is considered as one of the barriers in collaboration in the tourism destination management, which is caused by poor planning and tourism-related irresponsible behavior that is not adequately sanctioned. Then, for the tools to monitor and evaluate the implementation of National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, in this table, I presented the high and low outcomes, wherein the tool with high outcome, which is the tourist destination carries out capacity building assessment, is the most acknowledged and important tool in tourism development. While the tool with low outcome, which is it employs the European Tourism Indicator System, or ETIS, to assess the destination sustainability. Previous slide, please. Okay. Denotes that despite of its flexibility in core and optional indicators, majority of them do not fit the need and specifics of the chosen destinations in Palawan. Next slide, please. As for the strategies used in identifying the risk in the implementation of the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, okay, the destination management is conducting profiling of the local tourism industry. So with, wherein the result, out of 20, there are only 19 respondents, or 95% responded with yes. This denotes that they are conducting the profiling of local tourism industry, since it provides the inventory of tourism resources, problem, and issues to be undertaken. And then, as for the strategies in mitigating the risk in the implementation of the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022, the management is creating or using an action plan with objectives. So majority of the respondents with 19 or 95% responded that they were using this strategy in order to meet or be Okay, so since it served as a groundwork for implementation and sustained action taken to reduce and eliminate the long-term risk to life and its destination. Next slide, please. So in terms of technical assistance package to ensure the alignment to the implementation of National Tourism Development Plan, according to the most of the respondents with 17 or 85%, the technical assistance package to ensure the alignment of tourism destination management of Palawan to NTDP 2016-2022 is to increase local awareness in tourism products to be developed and designed. Since it promotes inclusive growth, supports artisans and rural communities. Next slide, please. Okay. So in terms of the respondents' assessment on the alignment of tourism destination management to the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022 strategic directions and programs in terms of improving competitiveness and enhancing growth, among the strategic programs of NTDP in intensifying transport infrastructure, okay, under the result 1.1.5, which is to improve existing ports of destination identified by cruise lines as having the capability to host cruise programs, which is to develop and develop ports and destination within or close to the Turquoise Triangle, Manila, Boracay to Puerto Princesa. got the lowest percentage for the reason that the new international Puerto Princesa cruise port and facilities is still under construction or is still being developed. In terms of 1.2, pursue travel facilitation initiatives, results of 1.2.5, which is permit cruise ship to operate their casinos until they drop anchor, denotes that this is a dominated tourist expenditure strategy, since the tourist will be spending his or her money inside the cruise ship while playing in their casino. It decreases the chance of exploring the place of visit and to have a fair share of tourism expenditures. Next slide, please. In terms of, previous slide po. Okay, thank you. So in terms of strategic direction 1.3, which is attract tourism investment and improvement business environment, list result is under 1.3.2, which is prepare short list of investment, fairs and sales missions, and undertake overseas promotions program. It denotes that this does not account to transparency and there are only limited information that is available. In terms of strategic direction 1.4, which is to expand product development initiatives, the result is the variable 1.4.1, which is to pursue the development of tourism circuits and corridors by linking tourism development areas via road and sea connectivity, emphasizing existence of public transport routes linking tourism sites, urban service centers, and accommodation facilities of varying categories, got the least respondents. Simply means that Coron Busuanga Culion Sustainable Tourism Circuit is still making its impact last 2019. Next slide, please. In terms of strategic direction 1.5, which is to design and implement an expanded marketing program, 1.5.6 got the lowest response, which is create a MICE promotions plan in support for a new meeting destinations and facilities. For the reason that it is part of the new product development program being ventured by Palawan, specifically in Puerto Princesa City, and they are still renovating and redesigning their convention facilities. As for strategic direction 1.7, which is to promote initiatives in embracing quality standards, 1.7.2 got the list result, which is to strengthen the accreditation system for tourism enterprise. This signifies that getting accreditation in tourism industry was really tough, since only a few can comply with the permits each government agencies are asking, and wherein there are no satellite office to accredit these establishments. And also, once they have decided to process it online, they have to wait for months for the online process to continue, which is detrimental to their operations. Next slide, please. For the strategic direction 2.1, which is to support micro, small, medium enterprise development in tourism. 2.1.3, which is to raise skills, capabilities through technical programs with DTI targeting backyard industries such as handicraft, souvenir, and food products, got the least result. Okay. This means that the provincial government of Palawan has a weaver association which provides skills training on handicrafts and souvenirs. Next slide, please. Okay. As for the strategic direction 2.3, which is to expand and promote cultural offerings in tourism sites, 2.3.2, which is to enhance and support regional festivals which carry cultural and historical element. In terms of regional offices, adopts and apply criteria to events requesting. This implies that all events in the province are government hosted and need to be included in the calendar of activities, and it is subject for the approval of the regional government and other government agencies involved. In addition to that, since Puerto Princesa City has been hosting international birdwatching photography, the declaration of Puerto Princesa as a birding capital should be coming from the regional office, provided that with technical data and manifesto of wild bird photographers of the Philippines. And as for the strategic direction 2.4, to adopt measures to enhance environmental preservation and climate change adaptation. 2.4.5, which is to actively participate in the ASEAN integration for the preparation of a manual guidelines for incorporating environment and climate change mitigation, adaptation, and resilience in tourism. Got also the list outcomes. It indicates that it depends on the attraction and organization, since some are part of the ASEAN initiatives and some are under UNESCO initiatives. So the tourism destination management of Palawan has a diverse product portfolio. That is why they have to follow and integrate the organizations while where it really belongs. Okay, thank you. And then as for the strategic direction 2.5, which is to formulate measures to address the tourism risk and crisis, 2.5.2 got the lowest outcome, which is to create a unit in the tourism department and appoint spokesperson to implement and coordinate measures and appropriate to the crisis. So this denotes that the tourism destination management of Palawan have tourism officers delegated to do the task for each municipality. Some municipalities are creating technical working group to ensure that the current crisis will be resolved. Next slide, please. As for the significant test of significance of difference, okay, the computed p-value is 0.055. Since the p-value is greater than 0.05, hence, at 0.05 level of significance, it can be concluded that there is no significant difference on the alignment of tourism destination management of Palawan to the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022 as assessed by the respondents when they are grouped according to their involvement. It means that the tourism destination management of Palawan is aligned to the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022 regardless of their involvement. Next slide, please. May I now present the qualitative research outcomes from the views, opinions, and thoughts of the participants in the following areas of scientific inquiry. First one are the challenges. So the themes that were created, P1 is people-related. So this includes the challenges related to the human resource, manpower, and tourists. P2, which is process-related, challenges related to syntax and procedures. P3, which is the product-related. This refers to the challenges related to the desired outcome and output. For the second area inquiry, which is the risk mitigation, P4 stands for preparing, which is risk mitigation approaches or strategies through preparation of logistics. Then planning, which is risk mitigation approaches or strategies through early planning. And the third area of inquiry, which is the assistance, okay, there are 3 teams that were created. For Prime, this refers to manpower training support. Procure, this refers to the acquisition of necessary materials and investments. And lastly, protect, this refers to preserving the existing ones. Next slide, please. From the aforesaid findings, the emerging outcome shall be called as proposed CRA 8P's integrated framework in defining the challenges, risk mitigation, and assistance in the implementation of the National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022. The framework is a Venn diagram which shows the relationship of each sets, namely challenges, mitigate, and assistance. This is seen through the 3 circles that overlaps with each other. And in this Venn diagram, there are 4 additional concepts that were integrated to develop, strengthen, and sustain the implementation of National Tourism Development Plan 2016-2022. First, we have corporate governance, having the 4 basic principles of corporate governance like accountability, transparency, fairness, and responsibility, making it an ideal tool for managing tourist destinations since it establishes participation and collaboration between stakeholders. And the other one we have is organizational development. So this is a critical and science-based process that helps the organization build their capacity to change and achieve greater effectiveness by developing, improving, and reinforcing strategies, structures, and processes. As we all know, organizational development is an integral approach to ensure constant change in the organization. Okay. And then third one, we have quality standards. So these present the precise descriptions and terminologies which offer an objective and authoritative basis for the organizations and consumers to communicate and conduct business and ensure that materials, products, processes, and services are fit for their purpose. And last one, we have resilience. Resilience allows better anticipation for disasters, and it allows better planning to reduce disaster losses. And through resilience, okay, which we incorporate in the system, conservation occurs naturally. Hence, resilience is the new sustainability. Okay, next slide, please. So here are some of the references that I used in my dissertation. All right, so before I end my presentation, I would like to express my utmost and heartfelt gratitude to the following. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dakiel. Truly, it is a noteworthy presentation, considering the interests of tourists or travelers and businesses nowadays. Indeed, that to have a great destination, it should be well managed and well planned. And everyone, do you know what makes Palawan a world-class destination? It is Palawan's outstanding land and seascapes that make it a world-class cultural adventure and nature destination. Introduction, methodology, results, discussion and conclusion, and of course, references. So again, just a reminder, please be sure to type in your questions into the comment box so that we can attend to it right away. Before we proceed with our question and answer, let us have a quick recap of the dissertation paper presenters and their topics. Starting with Dr. Maria Dina Jimenez with the topic Service Strategy and Innovation in Food Service Industry, Basis for Competitive Advantage Model. Followed by Dr. Joanne Lobrino with the topic The Development of the Province of Bataan as a Potential Food Hub Amidst the Pandemic, Basis for Food Chain Model. And lastly, Dr. Marie Ayona Angeli Daquiel with the topic Tourism Destination Management of Palawan vis-a-vis the NTDP 2016-2022 Basis for Enhancement.
Thank you, Angelica.
Thank you. I would like, yes, Jason. I would like to acknowledge first the presence of our PWU Graduate School faculties, Dr. Angelina Blanco, Dr. Cristina Calusa, Dr. Jocelyn Sardena, Attorney Inigo Pieras, and of course, Dr. Ed Moreno. Again, thank you very much for your support. So I think, Jason, while waiting for the questions, I would also like to add up an acknowledgement of the following participants. All right. PWU Manila, PWU Graduate School of Hospitality, Tourism, and Food and Science Technology, PWU Santa Cruz, University of Cebu Main Campus, University of the Philippines, Benguet State University, Malay College, Western Philippines University Main Campus, Western Philippines University Puerto Princesa City Campus, Colegio de Calumpit Inc., Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Calabanga Campus, Palawan State University. We also have participants from Romblon State University, San Fernando Campus. We also have participants from Laguna State Polytechnic University, San Pablo City Campus. We also have participants from Isabela State University, Cabagan Campus. And of course, participants from Surigao State College of Technology, Negros Oriental State University, and of course, Peninsula Polytechnic State University, Zamboanga. Jason?
Thank you very much, Angelica, for that acknowledgement. So now it looks like we have questions here. Angelica, let's go first with Dr. Lobrino. For Dr. Lobrino, in the results and findings of your studies, the first question is, how can demand be established in Bataan, considering that respondents are fisher folks and farmers? And how will supply translate to demand?
Yes, come again, Jason. Sorry.
All right, no worries. All right, the question is, how can demand be established in Bataan, considering that respondents are fisher folks and farmers? And how will supply translate to demand?
Actually, the study is bound for the future research, which is into identifying the demand and supply here in the province of Bataan. And then finally, for the actualization of the development of food hub. So actually, that is an opportunity for the next research. Thank you. Thank you for the interest.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lobrino. Angelica?
All right, this question is for Dr. Daquiel. How can the tourism industry achieve maximum economic value in sustainable development during these difficult times, considering the low count of consumers in the market? Again, I'll repeat the question for Dr. Daquiel. How can the tourism industry achieve maximum economic value in sustainable development during these difficult times, considering the low count of consumers in the market?
All right. So as we all know, the tourism and the hospitality economy has been hit by the coronavirus, right? Okay, so for me, they have to redesign their business model crafted to the times of uncertainty. Okay, and then once in a while, they have to update the comprehensive tourism recovery plans okay, such as having the strict health protocols laid by our government. And of course, they have to keep on innovating their products, okay, and as well as their services, no? Even if they are not yet allowed to operate, no? Okay. And lastly, okay, I believe with collaboration. Okay, so if since this is the major determinant on how the organization these days handle this crisis, right? So it is important for them to collaborate remotely with all the stakeholders. That will be a great help for them once they will be allowed to operate. Okay, so I guess those are the things that will help bring back the confidence to our travelers and also bring back their passion in operating their own businesses.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Dakiel. I also agree with you in connection with collaboration. So again, thank you very much. By the way, Jason, I can see here question from Sir Edwin Villaflor. Okay. This is, I think, for Dr. Jimenez. So in the food supply chain model, was the 3PL or 3PLs considered? Was the end impact to the producers? Okay.
Good morning once again. Good morning. Thank you for that question. Okay, every establishment has their standard of operation. So the paper or the model that I presented is according to the response of my respondent. So like what I've said for the food service, I think depend on how you forecast your best ability on what is the product and services that you offered in your establishment. So in the presentation that I have also, there are different types of service innovation. I think you need also to know your different alternatives in your business, most especially for the young business. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jimenez. Jason?
We have the same question for Dr. Lebrino. Dr. Lebrino, the question is, in the food supply chain model, was the 3PL or 4PLs considered? And was there any impact to the producers?
Okay, so I guess 3PL pertains to the third-party logistics, wherein it's the third-party business to outsource elements such as distribution, warehousing, and fulfillment services. So those things were actually considered primarily because they were part of the Food Hub operations. So Food Hub cannot sustain its operation without the third-party logistics. So with that, they are part of the food chain model being presented a while ago. And then with another question about concerning the impact to the producers, most likely they are the target beneficiaries for the Food Hub operation because the products that they will be harvesting will be generating the most profitable price since there will be negotiation, especially in terms of wholesale, and then there will be activities intended for the farmers and fisher folks so that their livelihood will prosper. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lebrino, for that wonderful answer. I do agree with you that local produce is one way of being efficient, especially to our people in the Philippines, considering that they are living in rural areas. All right. This is the last question for Dr. Dakiel. Dr. Dakiel, during the pandemic, does Palawan have a certain mechanism to ensure that all stakeholders are getting their share in the influx of tourists? Again, during the pandemic, does Palawan have a certain mechanism to ensure that all stakeholders are getting their share in the influx of tourists?
All right. So during the time of data gathering, okay, which is around February, Okay, as we all know, they were allowed to have their reopening, especially for the case of El Nido and Puerto Princesa, right? Okay, so as far as I could remember from the data that I have gathered, they are obviously following the health protocols that was implemented, laid out by the government, and also they have to, as what I have said a while ago, they have reinvented their business models from what we call very conservative one, wherein they focus more on the privacy and the safety of their clients, okay? And they do have their organizations that handle each of those, each of the, to ensure that the safety and health of these travelers will be okay. They will still be happy once they return to their own homes. That's all.
Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Dakyel, for that wonderful answer. All right, Angelica.
So Jason, I think I still have a question here, and I think this is for Dr. Lobrino. So the question is, considering that this is a study on potential business in Bataan, were you able to establish the utility scale of the community that has the dominant demand? And the same concern, how will supply translate to demand? Okay, I'll repeat the question for Dr. Lobrino. Considering that this is a study on potential business in Bataan, were you able to establish the utility scale of the community that has the dominant demand? And the same concern, how will supply translate to demand? Thank you.
Okay, so with that question, in terms of the skills, so primarily there's a majority of coastal areas in the province. So most likely there will be an abundant supply for seafood. Okay, so that's actually one of the struggle right now, especially in pandemic, wherein they have an abundant supply, and then this refers to the supply, and then even if you like to eat seafood for one, it is quite expensive. Okay, so having a conversation with the Bataan Cooperative, they really are very enthusiastic and interested in having a food hub in the province, because for one, they'll be having a location wherein they can bring their products, and then eventually the local community can support and purchase their product at a good price. Okay, so with that, I guess it's a win-win situation here in the community, here in the province of Bataan, because we can help out those farmers and fisher folks, and then at the same time, we can maximize the products available, and then eventually provide for the community, and then have, instead of bringing them in Manila for one, because Manila is just near in the province, it's just 2-3 hours right now for travel, the province can eventually right out consume the supply of our farmers and fisher folks. I hope I was able to answer the question.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Lobrino. All right. Again, there's another question here. So, all right. From Miss Rio Matoralba. So, given that we are currently on pandemic, and as we all know, community pantry has been the latest trend nowadays. As a temporary solution to address food scarcity, in your own opinion, how can your research be applied or at least improve the sustainability of it? Okay, again, I'll repeat the question. Given that we are currently on pandemic And as we all know, community pantry has been the latest trend nowadays as a temporary solution to address food scarcity. In your own opinion, how can your research be applied or at least improve the sustainability of it?
Okay. Regarding the community pantry, we also have here in different locations in province of Bataan, and I am actually proud to share that we have alumni coming from Bataan Peninsula State University, where I used to work. They initiate to provide a community pantry in their locality, in their specific municipality in the province. So I guess in terms of sustainability, there are actually volunteered farmers and fisher folks who were able to provide their supply, their produce, to those who have a volunteer advocacy like community pantry. So in terms, I guess, of sustainability, I guess it's quite difficult right now to have that sustainability because for all we know, we have seasonal products per se, right? We have scheduled harvest for each of the products for farmers and for fisher folks. So in terms of sustainability, it's quite right now challenging on that part. But for one, if they do have produce, we have here support coming from the local government. They were able to provide seedlings and then fingerlings, for example, to our target producers. So given those support coming from the government, they were able to provide as well for the community. So whatever they receive from the government, they make sure that they can also provide for the community where they live. So I guess it's, what do you call that? It seems to be a cycle, but in terms of the sustainability, it's challenging right now, especially during pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lubrino. I agree with you. It's very challenging now. I think there are this what we call community pantry that helps this less fortunate people to survive in this pandemic times. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Lubrino. Jason?
All right, thank you, Dr. Lebrino. All right, for our final part of the open forum for our dear presenters, may I ask, what is your takeaway for your presentation today? Let's start with Dr. Dakel.
All right. Okay. So, with regards to my study, I would like that the government should give the chance to the tourism and hospitality industry to start, okay, and start their operation once in a while, and of course, accrediting them as what I have suggested in the CRA framework, right? So what I mean is, before they will be having their operation, they should be accredited first, and then as what the DOT advised before, that if this establishment will be accredited, they will be supported by the Department of Tourism. Okay, so my takeaway is the tourism and hospitality industry should again follow everything that the government is telling us, and then keep on redesigning their business model as what I have been telling you, okay? Because we don't have any other things to, the business model that we have in the past will no longer be usable in this time of pandemic, okay? And then encourage more innovation and again, collaboration. And again, they have to abide with the government policies and protocols. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Dakel. Dr. Lebrino?
Yes, my takeaway. So, at first, to be honest, having the dissertation journey, I just wanted to comply for the requirements in the doctorate degree. But during my writing and having the interview and having a face-to-face set up with the farmers and fisher folks, I'm into something big, okay? Having the food hub development soon here in the province would really help alleviate the lives of the farmers and fisher folks. So for you guys who will be writing your thesis and dissertation, you really can never tell the output or outcome of your study. So just believe in yourself that you can do it, and eventually you just not finish your dissertation, but alongside with it, you can help your community, your province, or even the nation. So thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Labino. Angelica?
Thank you. Yes, Jason. Thank you, dear presenters, Dr. Jimenez, Dr. Lobrino, and of course, Dr. Dakiel. All right, it looks like we have covered all of the questions for our dissertation paper presenters.
Yes, Angelica, I agree. So I think we're good already for this time. So after hearing from our dissertation paper presenters, I observed that most of them applied the use of mixed methods, such as qualitative and quantitative methods to come up with their studies. The dissertation paper is always applying mixed methodology.
Yes, same here, Jason. Am I right? Quantitative method deals with numbers and statistics, while qualitative method deals with words, meanings, and it seeks to answer questions. And again, I need to say this personally, that graduate school life should be enjoyed with classmates and friends.
Yes, Angelica, you're right.
So again, thank you, Jason. Moving on to the awarding of Certificate of Recognition to our dear dissertation paper presenters for taking part in this international research conference. May we call on our beloved Dean of the School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Efraimel Jose Abellana, Conference Chair and Co-Chair, Georgina Bihar, and Maria Luella Lopez.
Thank you, Angelica, Jason. This morning is really a blissful day for me because these amazing ladies are my advisees and they're perfectly good. They're awesome. They're very unique students. There's doctors. And I was listening to them. Wow, it was a journey with them, the three of them. Really, you know. I salute you, Dr. Jimenez, Dr. Dakiel, and Dr. Lubrino. I am so proud as your advisor for this presentation and you gave us time. And I know you're so busy for Saturday because you also have your family. And of course, Dr. Jimenez, I know you have an international event. Dr. Dinas, thank you so much for your time as well. Okay.
Thank you also, Dean. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. George, Lai, go ahead, Lai. George.
Right. So once again, we congratulate our three dissertation paper presenters. We would like to present this certificate of recognition. Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management presents this certificate of recognition to Ms. Maria Dina Jimenez, AHM, in deep appreciation and gratitude for imparting her invaluable insights, knowledge, and wisdom as dissertation paper presenter in the first SHM International Virtual Research Conference with the theme Breaking Barriers, Surviving to Thrive through Research, Innovation, Synergism of Trends, Challenges, and Agility. Given this 5th day of June 2021 at the Philippine Women's University, Taft Avenue, Manila City, Philippines. Signed by yours truly, Georgina Bihar, the Conference Chair 2021, by my Conference Co-Chair 2021, Ms. Maria Luella Lopez, and of course, by our Dean of the School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Raymond Jose L. Abellana. Once again, thank you, Dr. Jimenez.
Thank you so much also for the organizer team. Thank you so much for inviting me and sharing my dissertation with to all. And to Dean, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Our second certificate is for Dr. Joanne Labrino, Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management, presents a certificate of recognition to Dr. Joanne D. Labrino in deep appreciation and gratitude for imparting her invaluable insights, knowledge, and wisdom as dissertation paper presenter in the first SHM International Virtual Research Conference with the theme, Breaking Barriers, Surviving to Thrive Through Research Innovation, Synergism of Trends, Challenges, and Agility, given this 5th day of June 2021 at the Philippine Women's University, Taft Avenue, Manila City, Philippines. Signed, Ms. Georgina Vibihar, Conference Chairman 2021, yours truly, Conference Co-Chair, and Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana, Dean of School of Hospitality and Management. Thank you, Dr. Labrino.
My sincerest appreciation, sobrang proactive nung organizers, overwhelming, and thank you so much, Dean, for your usual support. Hindi po kayo nakakalimot to Dr. Sardenia, Dr. Blanco, Dr. Edgar Moreno. So thank you so much. Advance. Congratulations to everyone.
All right, for our third dissertation paper presenter, Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management presents this certificate of recognition to Dr. Maria Iona Angeli Dakiel in deep appreciation and gratitude for imparting her invaluable insights, knowledge, and wisdom as dissertation paper presenter in the first SHM International Virtual Conference with the theme Breaking Barriers, Surviving to Thrive Through Research Innovation, Synergism of Trends, Challenges, and Agility, given this 5th day of June 2021 at the Philippine Women's University, Taft Avenue, Manila City, Philippines. Signed by yours truly, the Conference Chair 2021, Ms. Maria Luella Lopez, the Conference Co-Chair for 2021, and the Dean of School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Eframuel Jose L. Abellana. Congratulations and thank you, Dr. Dakiel.
All right, so thank you very much for this certificate of recognition, and also Dean Prime, thank you so much for this opportunity for me to present my paper, and also for the event organizer who have been assisting us from the very beginning po. I'm very much, I appreciate your effort. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, thank you, Dean Prime, Georgina, and Maria Luella. Congratulations once again to our dear presenters for your great achievements. We are very happy to be able to witness that all of you achieved your vision. We are also looking forward to present our own research papers in the future, and definitely will enroll in the PWU Doctor in Hospitality Management program very soon. So we should never stop learning and chasing our dreams to earn a doctorate degree. You have inspired us, all dear paper presenters. So this morning already is full of mind-blowing information, data gathered and analysis, discussions of the results and findings, and many more. Now it gives me idea on how to prepare and present an excellent research paper very soon. Once again, thank you, dear presenters. So I would just like to ask or request for a photo op with the paper presenters and of course the committees as a remembrance for today's very important event. So may I request, possible, let's turn our camera on for photo opportunity. All right. So, all right. 1, 2, 3. All right, once again. 1, 2, 3. Smile. All right, thank you very much. So, again, we are calling all future patriots. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, again, we are calling all future patriots. Philippine Women's University is open to all student applicants regardless of religion, race, or gender. Every applicant is considered individually in a holistic assessment using all the information available to us. You are capable of achieving what you want.
Here at PWUU, we ignite the passion within you. The pre-registration for first trimester school year 2021 to 2022 is now ongoing. For immediate assistance, kindly send an email at admissions@pwu.edu.ph or you may call 0956-889-8488 or 0956-675-4232 for Globe subscribers and 0928-839-5341 for Smart subscribers. You may also visit our official website at pwu.edu.ph. Thank you.
Again, before we continue the program for the master's thesis presentations of papers, we will have our sponsors hour. Jason and I would like to thank everyone for being with us this morning. Be sure to be back and join the conference link before 1 p.m. for the continuation of the program. Once again, thank you very much and God bless us all.
And we're live in 3, 2, 1.
This year's been tough and confusing, but progress is moving.
Well, at glacial pace. Sorry.
But all of Australia loves you, and we'll never judge you.
You just need some space.
When you need an end to what ails you,
Call on your friends in
Australia. A pal to rely on
A shoulder to cry on.
in Australia. We can turn off the news. You can kick off your shoes. We'll play back your cricket.
Get ready to lose!
So throw in the towel. You can use one about. We speak your language.
Except for the vowels.
Yes, we know you love your fish and chips and your curries.
But hey, that's no worries.
Good cross guarantee. Negotiating tricky trade deals is a shocker.
But look, there's a quokka, and that's what you need. A quokka is really what you need. Glorious United Kingdom. Lean on your wingmen and women. We'll clear your head.
And sausage and bread.
We'll go to the beach.
Then tuck you in bed.
Don't bite your nails to the cuticles. And with aggressive marsupials. Helping the mates is a national trait in Australia. Yes, when everything's a test, call your besties across the ocean. Sisters and brothers,
We know you think you're above us.
but deep down you love us.
You just repress emotion.
But we'll put you right. Have another flat white.
Go grab your cozies.
Your cozies, your Aussies tonight. Calling all comes, keep calm, carry on in
So see you soon then, yeah?
bangsa. Visit truly Asia, Malaysia. Segala pengguna di sini, di Malaysia. Adekan kok buat maka bagi Malaysia. Visit truly Asia, selamat datang ke Malaysia.
A company headed toward the world with the right principles. A company that grows with its customers and shares generously. We are Atomy. Atomy, which has been growing ever since its establishment in 2009, achieved 1.9 trillion Korean won in global sales in 2020 and surpassed 15 million global members. Atomy's #1 goal of going beyond customer satisfaction to customer success continues to be a top priority to this day. Providing good quality products at reasonable prices. Atomy's competitiveness lies in the nature of its distribution. The absolute quality and absolute price product philosophy that Atomy has practiced since its inception is included in all of its products, including health functional foods, beauty, living, food, fashion, and home appliances. Atomy provides absolute quality and absolute price products to the world. A company that keeps to its principles and creates new distribution cultures. A company expanding globally with the trust of people around the world. A company that dreams of customer success beyond customer satisfaction. We are proud Atomy.
Greetings of good health from Sergeant Medical Supply and Equipment, School of Hospitality Dean Dr. Prime Abellana, Executive Pastry Chef June Muhammad Victoriano, the overall chair of the first virtual skill competition, to the faculty members, the judges, the student officers of comms, led by Audrey Castro, the new president, the contestant who did an awesome and fantastic job, to the parents and guardians who are so proud of their children, and to all the Philippine Women's University Hospitality Management students, congratulations and good job to all. Dear contestants, the excitements and the pressures of last week's competition was indeed a magnificent accomplishment in your life. Continue your journey and never stop improving yourselves. Never quit in joining competitions. Use the technology wisely and learn new skills, especially in the hospitality industry. Hone yourselves, motivate yourselves to become better and better person. And of course, study well because the global health crisis is very challenging, okay? And do not forget to enjoy simple blessings and joys with your family at home. Again, congratulations. God bless you all. See you on the second virtual competition. Thank you from all of us in Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment.
Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment is a duly registered private-owned company conveniently located at Unit 21, ground floor, Dahlia Commercial Complex, Dahlia Avenue, corner Rolex Street, West Fairview, Quezon City, Philippines. Sargent's goal and principle is adherence to the customer satisfaction, service quality, and on-time delivery of medical supplies and hospital equipment nationwide. Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment is associated with high-quality products from the different countries like the United States of America, Japan, Germany, Republic of Taiwan, and Republic of China. Because of Sargent's strong commitment to patient care and customer service, their customers are delighted with their products and services intended to boost health and wellness, as well as to uphold the total health care and well-being of the members of the family, medical practitioners, medical students intern, health and allied students, university and school clinics, hospital, and other medical institutions. Because of Sargent's strong family ties and assurance of always be there in all times, Sargent believes on. We care for your family and loved ones. It emanates from the management down to the staff of Sargent and associates. Products and services that Sargents give to their dearest customer for a total wellness with a compassionate heart. It is a new line of retailing and reselling the medical and healthcare products. Sargent's products are marketed strictly in accordance with the Food and Drug Administration standard. Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment, we care for your family and loved ones. Call us at 986-9707 or 0905-295-1432 or 0908-610-7571.
And we're live in 3, 2, 1.
This year's been tough and confusing, but progress is moving.
Well, at glacial pace. Sorry.
But all of Australia loves you, and we'll never judge you.
You just need some space.
When you lead her into what ails you.
Call on your friends in Australia.
A pal to rely on.
A shoulder to cry on.
In Australia.
We can turn off the news. You can kick off your shoes. We'll play backyard cricket.
Get ready to lose!
So throw in the towel. You can use one of ours. We speak your language.
Except for the vowels. Yes, we know you love your fish and chips and your curries.
But hey, that's no worries.
Good crops guaranteed.
Negotiating tricky trade deals is a shocker.
But look, there's a quokka, and that's what you need. A quokka is really what you need. Glorious United Kingdom. Lean on your wingmen and women. We'll clear your head.
And a sausage and bread.
We'll go to the beach.
Then tuck you in bed.
Don't bite your nails to the cuticles. And with impressive marsupials. Helping a mate is a national trait in Australia. Yes! When everything's a test, call your besties across the ocean. Sisters and brothers.
We know you think you're above us.
But deep down you love us.
You just repress emotion.
But we'll put you right. Have another flat white.
Go grab your cozies.
Your cozies, your Aussies tonight. Calling all comes. Keep on carrying on in
So see you soon then, yeah?
jiwa kita semua. Visit truly Asia, Malaysia, warna-warni kehidupan bahagia. Malaysia, melawat Malaysia, tentang seni budaya dan bangsa. Visit truly Asia, Malaysia, segala bermula di sini, di Malaysia.
Visit truly Asia, selamat datang ke Malaysia.
A company headed toward the world with the right principles. A company that grows with its customers and shares generously. We are Atomy. Atomy, which has been growing ever since its establishment in 2009, achieved 1.9 trillion Korean won in global sales in 2020 and surpassed 15 million global members. Atomy's #1 goal of going beyond customer satisfaction to customer success continues to be a top priority to this day. Providing good quality products at reasonable prices. Atomy's competitiveness lies in the nature of its distribution. The absolute quality and absolute price product philosophy that Atomy has practiced since its inception is included in all of its products, including health functional foods, beauty, living, food, fashion, and home appliances. Atomy provides absolute quality and absolute price products to the world. A company that keeps to its principles and creates new distribution cultures. A company expanding globally with the trust of people around the world. A company that dreams of customer success beyond customer satisfaction. We are proud Atomy.
Greetings of good health from Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment, School of Hospitality Dean Dr. Prime Abellana, Executive Pastry Chef June Muhammad Victoriano, the overall chair of the first virtual skill competition, to the faculty members, the judges, the student officers of comms, led by Audrey Castro, the new president, the contestant who did an awesome and fantastic job, to the parents and guardians who are so proud of their children, and to all the Philippine Women's University Hospitality Management students, congratulations and good job to all. Dear contestants, the excitements and the pressures of last week's competition was indeed a magnificent accomplishment in your life. Continue your journey and never stop improving yourselves. Never quit in joining competitions. Use the technology wisely and learn new skills, especially in the hospitality industry. Hone yourselves, motivate yourselves to become better and better person. And of course, study well because the global health crisis is very challenging, okay? And do not forget to enjoy simple blessings and joys with your family at home. Again, congratulations. God bless you all. See you on the second virtual competition. Thank you from all of us in Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment.
Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment is a duly registered private-owned company conveniently located at Unit 21, ground floor, Dahlia Commercial Complex, Dahlia Avenue, corner Rolex Street, West Fairview, Quezon City, Philippines. Sargent's goal and principle is adherence to the customer satisfaction, service quality, and on-time delivery of medical supplies and hospital equipment nationwide. Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment is associated with high-quality products from the different countries like the United States of America, Japan, Germany, Republic of Taiwan, and Republic of China. Because of Sargent's strong commitment to patient care and customer service, their customers are delighted with their products and services intended to boost health and wellness, as well as to uphold the total health care and well-being of the members of the family, medical practitioners, medical students intern, health and allied students, university and school clinics, hospital, and other medical institutions. Because of Sargent's strong family ties and assurance of always be there in all times, Sargent believes one. We care for your family and loved ones. It emanates from the management down to the staff of Sargent and associates. Products and services that Sargents give to their dearest customer for a total wellness with a compassionate heart. It is a new line of retailing and reselling the medical and healthcare products. Sargent's products are marketed strictly in accordance with the Food and Drug Administration standard. Sargent Medical Supply and Equipment, we care for your family and loved ones. Call us at 986-9707 or 0905-295-1432 or 0908-610-7571.
red live in 3, 2, 1.
This year's been tough and confusing, but progress is moving.
Well, at glacial pace.
But all string guides you, and we'll never judge you.
You just need some space.
When you begin to race,
Call on your friends in Australia.
a pal to rely on.
A shoulder to cry on.
In Australia.
When you turn off the news, you can kick off your shoes. We'll play back your rhythm. So throw in the towel. You can use one of ours. We speak your language.
Except for the vowels. Yes, we know you love your fish and chips and your curries.
But hey, that's no worries.
Good cross guarantee.
Negotiating tricky trade deals is a shocker.
But look, there's a quokka, and that's what you need. A quokka is really what you need. Glorious United Kingdom. Lean on your wingmen and women. We'll clear your head.
Sausage and bread.
We'll go to the beach.
Then tuck you in bed.
Don't let your nails to the cuticles. And with aggressive marsupials. Come in a mix, it's a national race. It's radio. Yes, where everything's a test. Call your besties across the ocean. Sisters and brothers.
We know you think you're above us.
But deep down you love
You just repress emotion.
Put your eyes, your cozies tonight. Calling all home, keep our carry on in
So see you soon, then, yeah?
A company headed toward the world with the right principles. A company that grows with its customers and shares generously. We are Atomy. Atomy, which has been growing ever since its establishment in 2009, achieved 1.9 trillion Korean won in global sales in 2020 and surpassed 15 million global members. Atomy's #1 goal of going beyond customer satisfaction to customer success continues to be a top priority to this day. Providing good quality products at reasonable prices. Atomy's competitiveness lies in the nature of its distribution. The absolute quality and absolute price product philosophy that Atomy has practiced since its inception is included in all of its products, including health functional foods, beauty, living, food, fashion, and home appliances. Atomy provides absolute quality and absolute price products to the world. A company that keeps to its principles and creates new distribution cultures. A company expanding globally with the trust of people around the world. A company that dreams of customer success beyond customer satisfaction. We are proud Atomy.
Greetings of good health from Sergeant Medical Supply and Equipment, School of Hospitality Dean Dr. Prime Abellana, Executive Pastry Chef June Muhammad Victoriano, the overall chair of the first virtual skill competition, to the faculty members, the judges, the student officers of comms, led by Audrey Castro, the new president, the contestant who did an awesome and fantastic job, to the parents and guardians who are so proud of their children, and to all the Philippine Women's University Hospitality Management students, congratulations and good job to all. Dear contestants, the excitements and the pressures of last week's competition was indeed a magnificent accomplishment in your life. Continue your journey and never stop improving yourselves. Never quit in joining competitions. Use the technology wisely and learn new skills, especially in the hospitality industry. Hone yourselves, motivate yourselves to become better and better person. And of course, study well because the global health crisis is very challenging, okay? And do not forget to enjoy simple blessings and joys with your family at home. Again, congratulations, God bless you all. See you on the second virtual competition. Thank you from all of us in Sergeant Medical Supply and Equipment.